Sylvester Stallone and his family are grieving for his son Sage, but he is not the only star who has had to mourn publicly while losing a child.
Mike Tyson's 4-year-old daughter has died one day after what police called a tragic accident. The little girl was found Monday morning by her brother with her neck caught in an exercise machine cable. The accident happened at Tyson's home in Phoenix. Members of the quiet community say they were stunned by the news. Mike Tyson was out of town at the time. She was taken to this hospital where doctors described her condition as extremely critical. Mike Tyson was out of town at the time, but rushed back home from Las Vegas when he learned what had happened to his daughter.
He looked sad. He just looked sad and very quiet. He spoke very, very softly.
Investigators searched the family's home shortly after the accident, but they say they didn't find anything suspicious. Tyson has asked for privacy as his family tries to deal with the loss.
First manager, Bill Caton, and those guys, they were like slave masters, basically. My first manager, Bill Caton, and those guys, they were like slave masters, basically. My first manager, Bill Caton, and those guys, they were like slave masters, basically. Because I was just a young kid, 18 years old, 17 years old. I was too young to even sign a contract with those guys. But I signed the contract, because they died, I signed the contract with these guys. And they took, what, a third of what I had? Eventually, I got rid of them, and then I got caught up with this other piece of shit, Don King, who's a wretched, this is just a wretched, slimy, reptilian motherfucker, right? This is supposed to be my brother, my black brother, right? He's just a bad man, this real bad man. He abused you, and he would kill his mother for $1. He abused you, and he would kill his mother for $1. He's ruthless, he's deplorable, he doesn't know how to love anybody. That's just the way he is.
The greatest country in the world, man. This is America.
He would kill his mother for $1.
Well, we're going to send you a letter and answer it within a 24-hour period, and we'll tell you what we can give you. What you mean, a letter, man? Just tell me right here. No. Go home. We're going to send you a letter, and that letter they're going to explain. But it's going to be coded like what they want him to do if he's willing to do this. You see, it's just like nursery rhymes. And you're like, what? If I do what? Well, I don't understand the letter. Give us your mama, and we'll put you in the $20 million club. Man, you crazy. And if you're weak, you ain't got the Lord on your side, you sitting at home in that dark room, you tired of eating Roman noodles, you ain't got no running water, electricity out, you buy a candle going, all right, man. She work, downtown. She get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home. You catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. All right. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. Thanks for showing up. Because it's like coded. They ain't going to just come out and say they killed her, right? He hear it on the news, she's dead. He break down. He goes to his bank account and got $20 million in his bank.
It's still unclear how rapper Kanye West's mum died. An inquest hasn't been able to pinpoint exactly what killed her. Dr. Donda West passed away after having plastic surgery in November, but a coroner in Los Angeles ruled her death wasn't directly a result. They put it down to heart disease, as well as complications with her breast reduction and liposuction. Meanwhile, Kanye's given Brit singer Adele a boost by posting her video on his blog, saying he's a massive fan.
The Matrix is a system. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people you're trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Are you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
The car is in, yeah. How was Greece? You enjoyed it?
Don't ask us no questions.
All right, no problem. I'm not talking anymore. Have a nice day.
All right, man. She work, downtown. She get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home. You catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. All right. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. Thanks for showing up. Because it's like coded. They ain't going to just come out and say they killed her, right? He hear it on the news, she dead. He break down. He goes to his bank account and got $20 million in his bank account. He slowly forget his mama. Ask Kanye West. That's how he got down. Psalms 37 and 17 again. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord uphold the righteous. But when you're righteous, the Lord holds you up. Even though it feel like your life's getting ready to cut off, feel like you ain't got that money, look like you ain't got the right kind of taxes coming in because they cut you this year, right? But you're righteous. Your knowledge is prevailing. You're powerful. All. The Lord getting ready to bless, man. The Lord gonna bless the 1/3. Don't y'all keep tripping off of Hollywood and don't keep tripping on how to get that extra money. Just hold steady what you got.
So Clapton went into treatment, but was soon drinking again. It was during the relapse that he had an affair with Italian actress Laurie Del Santo. She would become the mother of Clapton's only son, Conor.
When he was born, I was drinking. And he was really the chief reason that I went back to treatment. Because I really did love this boy. And I thought, I know he's like a little baby, but he can see me and he can see what I'm doing, and I'm tired of this.
So it was for Conor that Clapton finally quit for good and vowed to be the kind of father he never had. But that was not to be. In March of '91, Clapton was in New York to visit Conor, who was living in the city with his mother. The phone rang in his hotel room.
His mother was upset. She was hardly able to make sense. But she said he was dead.
He had accidentally fallen 49 floors from the window of his mother's apartment.
And I remember putting the phone down and calmly walking from my hotel to that place as if nothing had happened. And I walked past the street, and this is a terrible thing of shame for me, which I'll never ever perhaps recover from. And seeing a crowd of people and a paramedic van, and knowing that he was there and walking by. And I'll punish myself forever about why didn't I run? Why didn't I go to see him? And the truth is I couldn't. I was so frightened. And that's it.
The mother and brother of Oscar winner Jennifer Hudson were fatally shot in their Chicago home. In addition, an Amber Alert was issued for the singer's missing 7-year-old nephew. Late this evening, we've learned that police have taken into custody Hudson's brother-in-law, William Balfour, who is currently being questioned by the police. The shootings come as Hudson's career is soaring with a #1 song on the charts and a new film just released. Nightline recently interviewed Hudson, and she talked about her mother.
What songs remind you of your mom?
Temptations. Could have been anything that you want to. I can tell the way you do the things you do by the Temptations. She would always sing that to us, and she would sing it to me.
Were you listening to, or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
Everybody look up to the second row. Look up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Willow. Straight ahead, folks. Everybody, second row. Everybody look up. Thank you. Look up. I'm good at this. Everybody to the left. Everybody look left. The Devils
devils, the devil worshiping horses, sex, human sacrifices, cannibalism, candles and exorcism, human sacrifices, human sacrifices, human sacrifices, human sacrifices.
In that $20 million club and higher, $100 million club where these brothers were operating in, oh, you got to pay the price. You got to bond yourself to these people forever. Let's look at some of the other people that have bonded themselves to this demonic energy. When Kanye West wanted to be up in that space so bad, he signed the oath, took the oath rather, and signed on, became a Mason and took the oath, wrote Lucifer, Son of the Morning, for Jay-Z, and that was his initiation, and sure enough, he lost his mom. Each one of these individuals had to make a blood sacrifice. So let's take a closer look at this. Who did Damon Dash sacrifice? He sacrificed his fiance. Who was he engaged to at the time? Aaliyah. Who died in a plane crash. Who did Suge Knight sacrifice? Tupac. Who Irv Gotti was supposed to sacrifice, but it didn't happen? Ashanti. She broke away from the camp and now she's doing well. But that was his blood sacrifice. Are you following me? Yes, sir. Jeez.
Also suffered the death of close friend rapper Proof at a Detroit nightclub shooting.
Detroit rapper Proof is dead after a shooting at an illegal after-hours club in Detroit.
Any award is, but I ain't trying to have none of my people hurt or murdered. It ain't words that I can't think of a perfect way to word it. Than to just say that I love y'all too much to see the verdict. I'll walk away from it all before I let it go any further. But don't get it twisted, it's not a plea that I'm copping. I'm just willing to be the bigger man if y'all can quit popping off at your jaws with a knocking. Cause frankly I'm sick of talking. I'm not gonna let someone else's coffin rest on my conscience.
Well, hip-hop royalty has lost a son, and reality TV is gearing up for the fall. Time now to catch up on all the latest entertainment news. Showbiz Tonight's AJ Hammer is in New York for us. Hi, AJ.
Hey there, Brooke. Yeah, some sad news out of Los Angeles today. It was confirmed this morning that the 20-year-old son of hip-hop star Dr. Dre was found dead in his home on Saturday. Now, several reports say that Andre Young Jr. returned home Saturday morning after a night out. They also say that Young's mother found him unresponsive later on that morning. She called 911. Those reports have not been confirmed yet, and the cause of death has yet to be determined by the coroner's office. We did, however, get a statement from Andre Young Sr.'s publicist. She said that Dr. Dre is mourning the loss of his son and asking everyone to respect their privacy and grief, and certainly our thoughts with Dr. Dre and his family on a real terrible day for them.
Jennifer Hudson wanted to be up in that space. Yep, her family got taken at it on some ritual killings. Are you following me? So we need to understand this particular thing. You're not going to operate up into the $50, $100 million club, and you're not paid the ultimate price now.
Jennifer Hudson remained in seclusion one day after the bodies of her 57-year-old mother, Darnell Donnerson, and her older brother, 29-year-old Jason Hudson, were found in the home where she grew up. Both had been shot to death. Autopsies were being performed today. Folks living in the rough Inglewood neighborhood on Chicago's South Side heard gunshots in the morning, but the murders weren't reported until afternoon, when Hudson's sister Julia got home to find her mom and brother dead and her 7-year-old son, Julian King, missing. An Amber Alert for Julian remains in effect tonight.
Oh,
I looked at this accident as God saying, I'm about to hand you the world, because I had a lot of good records, slow jams, Jesus Walks, already in the pipeline. Just know at any given time I can take it away from you. So always keep it first.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I didn't appreciate it then, I don't appreciate it now.
I have to just thank God for the situation that I'm in.
You know what the Midwest is? Young and restless, the restless might snatch your neck. The next is might jack your Lexus. Somebody tell these niggas who Kanye West is. I walk through the valley and shout. Top floor, if you alone and leave you breathless. Trying to catch it, it's kinda hard getting choked by
have you dealt with that? Have you accepted the fact he was murdered?
No, because I was fortunate. I could meet your mom and talk with your mom. I don't think she would have said about this.
Donda's death in November 2007.
Superstar Kanye West is mourning the death of his mother today.
And Dr. Adams quickly found himself being blamed.
Even one time I remember he came home not having gotten what he really had thought after that particular occasion, and he didn't even know whether he wanted to stay in music or not. And so, you know, now we're all glad that he did.
Would she be disappointed in this? Would she give you a lecture?
Critics accused Adams of performing too many procedures. 5'2" 188-pound former English professor.
Kanye West can end this by telling the truth.
And what do you believe that truth is? The coroner was unable to determine the exact cause of death.
The doctor had nothing to do with his mom's death.
But did not thought.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, I deal with her. Donda West and survived the surgery very well. So many, you know, celebrities, they never take the time off, and I've never taken the time off to really.
She was at home. Did anything during that surgery go wrong?
No.
Were there any complications during the surgery?
No.
Was there anything prior to the operation that gave you pause about operating on this one?
No.
He wanted Donda to recover from her surgery at a medical facility. But he claimed she insisted that her nephew, a nurse with a PhD in public health, care for her at her home.
Her nurse was gone to a baby shower rather than taking care of his aunt.
I want to die with his face. I'm going to Hollywood chasing it. I want to die with his.
I don't know how to shake these cats. I'm saying these are the big cats.
It's one thing to say, you know, I appreciate the way he handles business.
No, I'm talking about these motherfuckers.
It's other thing to say that man's a racist.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
President Bush and them niggas, right?
Dr. Adams says Donda West was left lying flat on her back, causing her to choke to death.
This lady shouldn't be dead. All you had to do is sit her up. And every nurse on the planet knows. You know, she would.
Kanye West blames himself for his mom's death. The 38-year-old rapper tells the mag, if I had never moved to LA, she'd be alive. I don't want to go far into it because it will bring me to tears. The topic came up when Kanye was asked what he had to sacrifice for his success. He said, my mom.
I talked to God. President Bush and them niggas, right?
Kanye West blames himself for his mom's death.
I wrote this song just so you know, no matter where you go, my love is so my one.
Kanye's mother, Donda, passed away at the age of 58 in 2007 from heart disease, while also suffering complications from plastic surgery. Now, 8 years later, Kanye is opening up about her death to Q Magazine. The 38-year-old rapper tells the mag, if I had never moved to LA, she'd be alive. I don't want to go far into it because it will bring me to tears. The topic came up when Kanye was asked what he had to sacrifice for his success. He said, my mom.
I talked to God about you. He said he sent you an angel. And look at all that he gave you.
This is going to sound really bad, and the Jennifer Hudson fans are not going to like this. Like, how in the world did she make it so quickly to the top like that from being eliminated from American Idol. So I'm going to Jennifer Hudson's Wikipedia page, and I'm not going to read every line, but let's just take a look at how Jennifer Hudson was able to make it to the top so quickly. So Jennifer Hudson is an American singer and actress, and she rose to fame in 2004 as a finalist on the 3rd season of American Idol, placing 7th. And then Hudson made her film debut as Effie White in Dreamgirls in 2006. So let's just stop right there, okay? Okay, so what you're trying to tell me is that I can be a 7th placed contestant on a reality show, a singing show, not placing as the winner or 2nd place, but I could be the 7th, and next thing I know, 2 years later, I'm in a movie with Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, Danny Glover, Eddie Murphy. I mean, does that make sense to you? This is what I'm trying to figure out. She made her film debut as Effie White in Dreamgirls in 2006, which means she may have been working on this film in 2005. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it not necessarily mean that she didn't already have this contract going on. She may even have the contract right after American Idol in 2004 do this movie. I don't know. How in the world, how many people that get kicked off of a singing show, the next year or two, you're in a movie with Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, Eddie Murphy, Danny Glover, and other high-profile actors and actresses? Does this make sense to you? Let's go on. So then it says, for which she received an Academy Award, a Golden Globe Award, a BAFTA or BAFTA award, and a Screen, and I haven't heard of that one, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Supporting Actress. So they're trying to say that her first movie not only was with Beyonce, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Danny Glover, and other high-profile celebrities, but also your first movie, you received an Academy Award, a Golden Globe Award, a BAFTA Award, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Supporting Actress. Are you kidding me with this? How you do that, Jennifer? And not like she's like a total nobody. Like, she does have some connections within her family into, you know, all of this. So that does help, okay? But at the same point, like, did we really know anything about Jennifer Hudson before American Idol when she was on there? But then all of a sudden you get kicked off your 7th place, and the next thing you know, you're in a movie with Beyonce and all these other people. Are you crazy? Like, what is going on here? For real? You got to be kidding me. And then it says that she also appeared in Sex and the City in 2008, The Secret Life of Bees in 2008, and Black Nativity in 2013. In 2015, she made her Broadway debut in the role of Shug Avery in The Color Purple. Then it says, following her elimination from American Idol and performance in Dreamgirls, Hudson was later signed to Arista Records by Clive Davis and released her self-titled debut studio album in 2008, which was certified gold in the United States. Sold over 1 million copies worldwide and received a Grammy Award for Best R&B Album. Hudson received her 2nd Grammy Award for Best, her 2nd. Okay, that's a lot going on for someone who was kicked off of American Idol, but okay. So Hudson received her 2nd Grammy Award for Best Musical Theater Album in 2017 as a cast member on The Color Purple. Okay, so that's a lot of accomplishment for someone who got kicked off of American Idol, and we didn't know who you were before American Idol. I mean, did we know? Okay, first of all, do we know her from other movies? Do we know her for acting? But all of a sudden, you're able to outdo people that are probably seasoned in acting and singing both. We know you can sing, but people that probably audition, you got the role. You got the role. Who knows how many people auditioned for the part that she played as Effie White in Dreamgirls, but they gave it to Jennifer Hudson, somebody who was on American Idol, a reality show. So, that don't tell you something? She obviously knows more than what meets the eye. She obviously has more connections than we know to be able to get to that level so quickly. Now, the next part of this Wikipedia is saying that Hudson was the subject of significant media attention in 2008 when her mother, brother, and nephew were killed in a shooting. Okay, so hold on a minute. All right, that's kind of interesting because didn't it just say in Wikipedia that she was signed to Arista Records by Clive Davis in 2008 and released her self-titled debut studio album in 2008. She also appeared in Sex and the City in 2008. She was also in The Secret Life of Bees in 2008. And that's the same year that your family were killed? That's a little bit strange to me, don't you think? Because, you know what? And this is weird. And this is, I don't have no proof of none of this, that Jennifer Hudson was involved in this killing of her family. However, right after it happened, a viral video went around saying that she did have something to do with it because of her wanting to have fame and fortune, and there needs to be a blood sacrifice. Okay. And that's what happens when you want fame and fortune more than you care about your family, friends, and whoever else is close to you. It's almost like Satan, it's almost like she went to Satan and was like, you know what? I really, really, really want to be a famous singer. And Satan's like, okay. And then Jennifer Hudson's like, what I need to do. And Satan's like, okay, well, what exactly do you want? And Jennifer Hudson's like, well, my dream is to be a really famous singer, but I love Beyonce. And I really have this, I've been having this dream for years that I would be in a movie with Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, and Eddie Murphy because they're my favorite celebrities. But I want to be in a movie where I get to out-sing Beyonce and outshine her and everybody talk about me and make her look like crap. Is there any way you can do that, Satan? Satan's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. But that's a pretty high request, which is going to require a high price, Jennifer. Who in your family do you spend time with? Do you care about? Who is that? Well, I mean, I care about my mother, my brother, and my nephew. Like, those are the closest people. Okay, you said enough. Are you willing to have them killed to be able to be a famous singer and to be able in a movie with Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, and Eddie Murphy? Oh my gosh, Satan, like, you're asking a lot. You're saying I need to kill my family in order to be in a movie with Beyonce? Are you crazy? Well, Jennifer, like, first of all, you were kicked off of American Idol, and you want your first movie to be with Beyonce. Are you crazy? Yes, you need to kill some people, close people that you love. And for this, because you told me your favorite people is Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, and Eddie Murphy. What 3 sacrifices are you willing for us to out for you to be able to do this? I mean, can it be like a coworker I used to work with when I was working as a waitress? No. It needs to be, I would say, for this, we're going to need it to be a family member. Oh, man, saying like, you really drive a hard bargain here. Oh my goodness. So am I going to need to kill like my mom and Am I going to need to kill my brother and my nephew? Because those are the people that I'm really close to. Jennifer, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yes. And I was thinking, like, I do not want to go through the life I had before. I do not want to have to work a regular job. So yes, if we have to kill my mom, my brother, and my nephew, then for me to get this movie with Beyonce and for me to have record deals and be famous and all this kind of stuff, then yeah. No, that's no problem, Jennifer. So yeah, we'll have you be somewhere else so it won't look like you had anything to do with it. And yeah, we're going to off your relatives and then the money's going to flow. So what else is this thing saying? So 2008 is when her mother, brother, and nephew were killed in a shooting. And then the next sentence says she resumed public appearances the following year with a high-profile performance at Super Bowl 43 as well as other mainstream events. The next sentence says Hudson has been described as a friend of former President Barack Obama. I find this to be a little bit weird. First, you're telling me that her family members was killed and that the next year she performed a high-profile performance. I don't know what a high-profile performance is supposed to mean, but the next year she performs a high-profile performance at Super Bowl 43 as well as other mainstream events. And the next sentence, you're trying to tell me that she's been described as a friend of former President Barack Obama. I find this to be a little bit weird. It's almost like you're trying to say, like, okay, yeah, some people in her family were killed. But let me distract you for a second, let you know that she's a friend to former President Barack Obama. Okay, let's forget about the killings. She's a friend of former President Barack Obama. That's the way it makes it look, Wikipedia. So, first of all, why in the world would former President Barack Obama feel the need to be friends with Jennifer Hudson? Unless she's something special. She's got some deep connections. She's done some rituals. She's got something. Because why would Barack Obama, in reality, think about it. If you're Barack Obama, you're a president, whatever. Would you feel like, you know what? I was watching American Idol. And this girl got kicked off. She was 7th place. I need to make her my friend. I mean, why? It just, I'm confused. I'm not saying like he might say, oh, she has a really good voice and she shouldn't have gotten kicked off. I get that. I understand. But it's kind of weird that it's one thing you say, you know what, I really like your talent. I like you and I appreciate and I really like watching you. But it's another thing to say we're friends. Okay? That's taking it a strong step. Because then it says that he invited her to appear with him at a fundraiser in Beverly Hills during his first term in May 2009. A year after the brutal killings of her family members. You're not seeing that there's some kind of strangeness going on here? How the heck all this has happened for Jennifer Hudson makes no sense, right? Unless there's some shenanigans going on here in the Hollywood satanic industry. So what you're trying to tell me is you get, we're gonna go back now. You get to appear in Sex and the City in 2008, The Secret Life of Bees in 2008. You get signed with Arista Records by Clive Davis and release her self-titled debut studio album in 2008, which went gold, okay, in the United States, sold over 1 million copies worldwide. You receive a Grammy Award for Best R&B Art Album. This was 2008 that they're talking about. Then, in the same year of 2008 is when your family members get killed. And the year later is when former President Barack Obama invites you to appear with him at a fundraiser in Beverly Hills during his first term in May 2009. I mean, you don't see this is a lot happening for someone who got kicked off of American Idol? That's what makes me kind of wonder if you were involved in the killing of your family, Jennifer Hudson. She also performed at the White House, of course, at the celebration of music from the Civil Rights Movement event. Why in the world, Barack Obama, are you inviting Jennifer Hudson to perform and you want to hang out with her and you want to be her friend? Like, really? Jennifer Hudson is to that level? Jennifer Hudson is to the degree where presidents want to have lunch and come and sing and come and hang out and be my best friend. That's the level Jennifer Hudson is at. Jennifer Hudson is so large from being kicked off of American Idol that she's able to get in a movie. And to me, and not everybody is going to agree, I feel like she outsang Beyonce in Dreamgirls. When she did I Am Telling You, I feel like she made Beyonce look like an amateur. Or she made Beyonce look like Jennifer Hudson was a star and Beyonce was Jennifer Hudson kind of thing. So she did her thing. I didn't 100% like the movie, but as far as the singing, I think Jennifer Hudson did a really great job. But there's definitely some weirdness going on here. And a lot of people have said that Jennifer Hudson is trying to, basically that this whole thing is to replace Whitney Houston. Because if we go to Clive Davis Wikipedia, let me see. Okay, so it says that Davis is also credited with bringing Whitney Houston and Barry Manilow to prominence. So yes, and then also when we talk about Whitney's death, it says that on Thursday, February 9th, 2012, Houston visited singers Brandy and Monica together with Clive Davis at their rehearsals for Davis's pre-Grammy Awards party at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. And then it says that 2 days later, on February 11th, Houston was found unconscious at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, submerged in the bathtub. She was found unresponsive, and it says that the cause of her death was not immediately known. She was found unconscious at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, which is weird because isn't that the same hotel that this pre-Grammy Clive Davis party was going on? So basically they all partying, and then next thing you know, Whitney Houston is dead in the same hotel. And then they have this video of Whitney Houston passing a note to Brandy while she's sitting next to Clive Davis. So now, first of all, I don't know what that was about, but if that note had anything to do with Clive Davis, then that was not very smart on Whitney's part. Like, she should have found Brandy alone somehow. And maybe it didn't say anything about Clive Davis, but if it did, if it said, hey girl, you better watch out or whatever, or he's getting ready to kill me, I can feel it in my spirit, then that probably wasn't the best move. Because Brandy, I really feel like, and I hate to say this, but if Clive Davis would have said, let me see what's in that note, what should give you, give it to me, Brandy doesn't seem like a type that would like hold that back, because probably she don't want to get like killed and stuff. If he came at her, I'm sure she'd have to give up that note to stay alive. But anyway, so my point is that Jennifer Hudson and Whitney Houston is a part of Clive Davis. And both situations in my mind has some weirdness going on. There's some really strangeness with the whole growth of Jennifer Hudson in the industry. Thank you for watching.
An I-Team exclusive tonight, the Hudson family killer. William Balfour is serving life in prison for murdering 3 members of actress-singer Jennifer Hudson's family on the South Side in 2008. Tonight, Balfour talks publicly for the first time. Here's investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy. Chuck?
Ron, the murders received worldwide attention. William Balfour was Jennifer Hudson's brother-in-law at the time and was arrested right away the day of the killings. So he was never confronted by relatives or reporters, and he never testified at his trial. So when he offered to talk for the first time, the I-Team came with a list of tough questions. William Balfour, inmate K76904, asked to meet with the I-Team to explain why he says he shouldn't be here at all.
I didn't have nothing to do with the case. I don't know who did the case.
The case, as he puts it, was a triple murder here in Englewood, in the home of his estranged wife, Julia, Jennifer Hudson's sister. A jury found that on October 24th, 2008, Balfour shot and killed Hudson's mother and brother and abducted her 7-year-old nephew in a jealous rage. The youngster found shot to death in this stolen SUV. Police said the keys were found in Balfour's pocket. And witnesses said they had seen Balfour with a distinctive chrome and black pistol like this that was used in the murders. Did you ever have the gun?
No.
So the people who said that they saw you with the gun were lying?
Exactly.
We had 1 hour with Balfour here at Pontiac, Illinois' oldest prison, built 140 years ago. He's among 1,500 of the state's most violent men. During the interview, he accused many of the prosecution's 81 trial witnesses of lying, including his friends and then-wife Julia. She testified that Balfour had repeatedly threatened to kill her family and then her. You wanted her dead, didn't you?
No, not at all. We wasn't even in a relationship anymore.
You told people that you wanted her dead, didn't you?
That never occurred. In my whole allegation.
You never said it?
No. Never, not one time did I ever threaten her. Period.
Balfour was on parole at the time for a 1992 attempted murder conviction. Prosecutors used cell phone records to place him near the crime scenes, cited gun residue on his clothing and on his car's steering wheel, all of which he claims were planted by police or concocted by evidence technicians. To hear you describe it,
right,
this was a huge conspiracy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Would have involved lawyers, witnesses, the police, technicians. Is that correct? All of those people.
Right.
The jury deliberated 2.5 days and found him guilty of everything. The judge called his soul barren and sentenced him to life without parole. His appeal last year was wholly rejected. Illinois justices saying there was plentiful evidence he killed all 3 members of his wife's family after many threats to do so. And last month, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to take his case. Why should anybody believe what you're saying now?
I mean, it's up to them to make sense out of it. Because if you make a statement and the statement don't add up to the way the murders happen, then it's a problem. That's reasonable doubt.
34-year-old Balfour is a career criminal. The police paperwork on him pages long. Since age 14, a gangbanger, carjacker, burglar, and drug dealer, a 10th grade dropout whose father and brother are both ex-cons. If you didn't kill Jennifer Hudson's family, who did?
I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and speculate to many names and just throw them out there to you. It still wouldn't solve it. Period.
Balfour refused to answer only one question. Why did you not testify?
I was told not to take the stand.
By whom?
My trial lawyer.
You could have overruled that.
I know that, but it was things that were discussed in private as far as taking the stand.
Whatever those were, he wouldn't say. But he was happy to discuss his boyhood friend Jennifer Hudson, who a year before the killings he was pictured with toasting her Academy Award. What would you say to Jennifer Hudson if she was sitting across from you?
I didn't have nothing to do with her family being killed. Period.
Did you ever think about Julian?
Of course. I mean, I don't know, man. Do I miss him? Yeah. Do I love him? Yeah.
Why would a 7-year-old have been killed?
That's what I'm saying. It could have been the wrong place at the wrong time. A person who come in there to kill somebody don't care who they kill.
That 7-year-old boy could have identified you.
That's what I just said earlier. They couldn't say that he could have identified me. That's the reason why he got killed. Oh, he killed him because he could identify him. Now, Julian was smart. He remembered faces.
And what do you think about a person who could kill a boy of that age in the way that he was killed?
Straight heartless. Ain't got no family morals, nothing.
After learning of Balfour's remarks, Chicago police said they firmly stand behind a case based exclusively on facts and evidence. And tonight a spokesman for the Cook County State's Attorney called that evidence overwhelming, saying Balfour was afforded every legal right and the opportunity to present any relevant defense. Balfour's lawyers declined comment, as did members of the Hudson family.
Thanks, Chuck.
Me and you, and we talking. So now I can tell my side of the story of what happened on October 24th of 2008. We heard a loud bang. The police kicked the back door open. It wasn't no resistance or none of that, because they came in full force and put me right on the ground. We didn't know who it was. It could have been anybody.
Well, if you're getting calls about people killed and your face is on television and the police are about to come through your door...
Right, that's one option.
Well, what would the other option be?
It could have been anybody.
You understood why you would be a suspect, right?
As far as what?
As far as the murders.
No, I didn't understand.
You didn't understand why you would have been considered a suspect?
No. For what? Everything that was said in trial about me making threats or anything like that, it was all new to me. All. My whole team wasn't ready for trial. They basically said that they wasn't ready for trial, but we was forced to trial. I mean, they done tested everything, and I was cleared of it. Evidence, the keys, was processed a month later. What police department take evidence off somebody and process it a month later? Keys that they saying that was in a file cabinet, locked up in the sergeant's office. Who is to believe that? What person in their right mind wouldn't just put them in evidence and then check them out when they need them? You did everything else that you took up off of me like that, processed the same day or the next day. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was done that I just can't remember right off back. That was wrong. That was truly wrong.
Are people to believe that the key, the video, some of these statements, that those things, had they been presented, would have resulted in you being acquitted?
Yes.
These things show, in your opinion, that you didn't do this.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
What about
the gun? I forgot about the gun too.
When Jennifer Hudson testified, she said that she would tell her sister over and over again not to marry you. Were you aware of that?
No.
What kind of...
I mean, when the relationship that we had, when she comes around, it's always hi, or what's going on, or bye. I mean, this is a female that I grew up with. We went to the same elementary school.
If you didn't kill Jennifer Hudson's family, who did?
I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and speculate to many names and just throw them out there to you. It still wouldn't solve it, period. The thing that got me is when my ex-wife got up on the stand and she knew for a fact that I never made a threat to her. When they was asked why didn't she get an order of protection, she said she didn't believe me. I mean, I can assume that she has something to do with it, just off of that fact.
Your ex-wife?
Right, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, you just did.
No, I said I can assume that. I'm not saying that she had something to do with it. I didn't do that.
What motive would she have?
I don't know. I say I can assume that she had something to do with it. But I just said I'm not going to do that.
You can understand why you were convicted, can't you?
Yeah. I can understand it.
You just don't agree with it?
No. I'm never going to agree with it.
You remember what the judge said about you when he sentenced you? You remember Judge Burns?
Yeah, I know who Judge Burns is. I just don't remember what he said.
Judge Burns said, "Your heart is an Arctic night, and your soul is as barren as dark space." You understand what that means?
Yeah, it's his opinion.
Do you have a heart and a soul?
Of course I do. It's not what he said it is.
And you don't know who did it?
No.
Or you're just not willing to say?
No, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. You know how many people are steady getting out of penitentiaries for some that people think that they did and it wasn't true? For prosecutorial misconduct? For police misconduct? Abuse of discretion? I mean, all those words mean something, Mr. Gowdy. All of them. It just takes a matter of time. It's like a needle in a haystack. You gotta find it. Only way you're gonna find it if you lift it up and it fall out.
And you think you're capable of finding that needle on your own?
I think I'm on the right path.
The right path being what?
As far as doing my own legal work. Studying. Getting right to the point.
Do you think you should be someday exonerated for what happened?
I believe so. Our whole team wasn't ready for trial. They basically said that they wasn't ready for trial, but we was forced to trial. I mean, they done tested everything and I was cleared of it. Evidence, the keys, was processed a month later. What police department take evidence off somebody and process it a month later? Keys that they saying that was in a file cabinet, locked up in the sergeant's office. Who is to believe that? What person in their right mind wouldn't just put them in evidence and then check them out when they need them? You did everything else that you took up off of me like that, processed the same day or the next day. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was done that I just can't remember right off back that was wrong. That was truly wrong.
Are people to believe that the key, the video, some of these statements, that those things, had they been presented, would have resulted in you being acquitted?
Yes.
These things show, in your opinion, that you didn't do this.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
What about
the gun? I forgot about the gun too.
When Jennifer Hudson testified, she said that she would tell her sister over and over again not to marry you. Were you aware of that?
No.
What kind of...
I mean, when the relationship that we had, when she comes around, it's always hi, or what's going on, or bye. I mean, this is a female that I grew up with. We went to the same elementary school.
If you didn't kill Jennifer Hudson's family, who did?
I don't know. I mean, I could sit here and, yeah, I can understand it.
You just don't agree with it?
No. I'm never going to agree with it.
You remember what the judge said about you when he sentenced you? You remember Judge Burns?
Yeah, I know who Judge Burns is. I just don't remember what he said.
Judge Burns said, "Your heart is an Arctic night, and your soul is as barren as dark space." You understand what that means?
Yeah, it's his opinion.
Do you have a heart and a soul?
Of course I do. It's not what he said it is.
And you don't know who did it?
No.
Or you're just not willing to say?
No, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. You know how many people are steady getting out of penitentiaries for some that people think that they did and it wasn't speculated to many names and just throw them out there to you? It still wouldn't solve it, period. The thing that got me is when my ex-wife got up on the stand and she knew for a fact that I never made a threat to her. When they was asked why didn't she get an order of protection, she said she didn't believe me. I mean, I can assume that she has something to do with it, just off of that fact.
Your ex-wife.
Right, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, you just did.
No, I said I can assume that. I'm not saying that she had something to do with it. I didn't do that.
Well, what motive would she have?
I don't know. I said I can assume that she had something to do with it. But I just said I'm not going to do that.
You can understand why you were convicted, can't you?
Me and you, and we talking. So now I can tell my side of the story of what happened on October 24th of 2008. We heard a loud bang. The police kicked the back door open. It wasn't no resistance or none of that, because they came in full force and put me right on the ground. We didn't know who it was. It could have been anybody.
Well, if you're getting calls about people killed and your face is on television and the police are about to come through your door...
Right, that's one option.
Well, what would the other option be?
It could have been anybody.
You understood why you would be a suspect, right?
As far as what?
As far as the murders.
No, I didn't understand.
You didn't understand why you would have been considered a suspect?
No. For what? Everything that was said in trial about me making threats or anything like that, it was all new to me. All.
Okay, I believe I've got Miss Michelle Davis Balfour with me now. Miss Balfour, are you there?
Yes.
Miss Balfour, thank you for being with us. I know.
No, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I know that your son is not named an official suspect in these murders as of tonight. He is a person of interest. Could you tell me, was he still romantically involved with the sister, Julia?
Was he with her?
Yes. Were they still together?
Yes, they were. Julia's birthday was just last week, and she had invited my son to have a slice of cake with her. People don't understand what's going on. My son loved her. She loved him.
Well, doesn't he have another girlfriend?
That's his wife.
Okay, hold on.
Regardless to whatever anyone says, my son still loved Julia.
Okay, but he did have a girlfriend.
She had a boyfriend.
Okay, I understood. So they still, according to you, had loving feelings toward each other, but were broken up. They were broken up.
If they were just together Thursday, right?
Right.
How were they broken up?
Well, I mean, if one has a girlfriend and one has a boyfriend, apparently they're not living together.
But they, because you know why? So many people was in their business. They didn't have no privacy. No privacy at all.
Now, the little boy, Julian, that's not your son's biological son, is it?
My son was incarcerated in 1996.
Right, okay, so the answer would be no.
Listen to what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
He was only 16 years old. William had stolen a car in 1996. He pled guilty. He served 9 years in Canton, Illinois. That's where me, his sister, and his godmother went and picked him up May the 5th, 2006. Okay. William was 16 at the time. No, he has never had a gun. No, he has never been bodily harmed to no one. No, he has never been the type of kid that you can say was a violent type.
Now, Miss Balfour, now hold on just a moment. I'm not saying that your son is a suspect in these murders. I'm not saying that. Police have not said that. But when you say he stole a car in 96, wasn't there a person on the car at that time? It was a car, Jack, and he pled guilty to attempted murder.
Let me tell you about that. My son was still in the man's car, right? The man saw my son starting his car. He ran outside, jumped on top of his own vehicle. This is why they said vehicle hijacking, because my son the man jumped on top of the car while my son was still in it, right? He stuck his hand inside the driver's side and started choking my son.
With me right now, the mother of the person of interest, that would be William Balfour. With me, Michelle Davis Balfour, who says her son is not involved. Miss Balfour, thank you for being with us. I'd like to hear your side of the story. What is his alibi for that evening?
Okay, let me explain this to you. Number one, my condolences go out to the Hudson family, especially my daughter-in-law, Julia. No means did my son do this. The police.
Yes.
The police had my son. They did not arrest my son. Let me correct that lie. That was the story. My son turned himself in. The police did not apprehend him. Okay, that was a lie.
So him being picked up for possession of a weapon is not true?
Well, that's a lie too.
So he did not have a weapon?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay.
No, that's a violation of his parole. Let me explain something to you. They're not telling you guys everything. Jason was selling drugs out of the house. Okay.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Jennifer Hudson's brother?
Yes.
Well, hold on. Before we get to him, what is your son's alibi for the time of the shooting?
My son's alibi was with one of his girlfriends. Okay, one of the girls that he's dating. They are Julia and William were separated, but they were still together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They wasn't gonna. William was not raised to disrespect no one, so he left the home. He wasn't kicked out. He wasn't put out. Julia wanted William back. If Julia felt that William was a threat, don't you think she would have put a restraining order on him?
Well, according to sources,
yes or
they
no?
had
Yes or no?
No, I don't know that she would have done that. No, I don't know their situation at all.
I'm just saying, if you feel that a person is threatening your family, would you want them?
Well, you know,
around
frankly,
your
Miss
family?
Balfour, women all across this country are afraid of men, and they don't get a temporary restraining
Do
order.
that family
So
look
I don't
like
know
they're
what they
afraid?
would do.
Do that family look like they're afraid?
I don't know. You
Okay,
tell me.
okay.
You tell me.
No,
Was
they-
she
they're
afraid?
not afraid
Had
of
they
him.
had disputes in the past? Had they had an argument in the past?
No.
Then why did they break up?
Why did they break up?
Yes.
Because William wanted them to move out into their own apartment.
You said that Jennifer Hudson's brother was selling drugs, but isn't it true that your son was picked up on drugs this past June?
Wait a minute. Let me correct you on that one.
Okay.
too.
Correct
So
me.
You all would stop saying that one.
Okay, tell me.
William went over there. He was not living with Julia at the time, right? William went by the house to see Julia. When he came out, there was some shooting over there in the Inglewood area. So the police automatically pulled William over. William stepped out of the car. When the police went back over to the car, they searched the car and they found some drugs in the car. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. They arrested my son and pounded his car. Okay? They had no probable cause for searching that car. That's why the charges were dropped. William said the police put the drugs in there. I told him it wasn't the police. It was Julia.
So you believe that
this
Julia...
was her way of... Yes, I told my son it was Julia that did this because she was upset because William had started dating another girl. So it's always two sides of the story. Don't make it seem like my son is the one that was stalking her. He went on with his life. You understand? He went on with his life.
Well,
He wanted to
actually,
see-
nobody has said stalking. You're the first person that said that. Why would you
I
even
mean,
bring that up?
They said, why did I bring that up? Because that's the way you all are painting him, portraying my son as being the worst scum of the earth.
No,
You're not
actually, I've
saying-
got
look,
you on
you all are
tonight
not
to
saying-
give your
you
side.
You all are not saying that my son was employed from the
Is
time
he
he got
good?
out of-
Tell me
out of-
about
out
that.
of
Where was
jail.
he employed?
Cozy on Jackson, Michigan and Jackson, downtown in Chicago. My son had been employed there since he gotten out of jail. You all have put my son's face on worldwide news. like he's the killer of the hunt. You all not saying that my son obtained his GED while he was in the correctional facility. You all are not saying that my son took up horticulture while he was there. William is a very smart and intelligent young man. Why didn't they charge him? If they say he violated his parole, right? Why his parole officer is not terminated from his job? Why? Ask the Chicago Police Department. Why haven't they not terminated?
Ms. Balfour, you're asking me a lot of questions that nobody knows the answer to.
This is what everybody needs to know.
No. Not everybody. That has not been said on this show. So, ma'am, you need to get your facts straight because that has not been said on this show.
I didn't say it was. I'm not
You
saying
said
it was
everybody.
said on this.
I'm not everybody.
I'm just in general saying to the public.
Yeah, well, let's just get that straight. And I want to get something else straight about his alibi. You said he was with his girlfriend. What girlfriend?
Well, William has two girlfriends.
Well, which one?
I know my oldest son, which is Raymond, his brother, had told me he was with Diana that night, and he was with Tate in the morning. Now, that's what he had told me. My son told me this, okay? Now, if William did, let me explain this to you, because I did get kind of hostile. If William did do this, right, in no means am I going to sugarcoat him and say my son didn't do it. I know my son didn't do this.
With me right now, a special guest joining us exclusively, Michelle Davis Balfour. She is the mother of the person of interest in the Hudson shooting. American Idol turned Oscar winner Jennifer Hudson learns her family gunned down their Chicago home. Back to Miss Balfour. Miss Balfour, you were saying your son's alibi is his girlfriend Diana?
Yes, like I said, it's Diana and this young lady named Tay that I had met back in June when William had went to jail for possession of a controlled substance. He didn't slip through the cracks. His parole officer knew that he was in jail. He knew. So that don't say that anymore. The parole officer knew that William was
but he was still picked up on cocaine. You're not saying he didn't have it in his car, are you?
It was in his car, but it wasn't in his pocket or on his personal body. That's what I'm saying.
Temptation, it beats like a drum.